there's a difference between having all of this access to your data, but if you don't know what it means, or you don't know how to use it, or you don't know how to interpret that into actionable steps to attain your goals, that technology is not going to do anything for you.
Welcome back to Beyond Common Business Secrets. We have such an amazing guest here with us today. We have Jules Reese from Boulevard. He is the Enterprise Customer Success Manager. He is the provider of the client experience. On this platform, its purpose is built for appointment-based self-care in business. And at Boulevard, Jules works directly with customers to help them maximize their technology investments, which I love, by the way, Jules, deliver the best possible experience to their clients and amplify their growth potential. And prior to joining Boulevard, Jules spent over 10 years in the salon industry working as a stylist, while also managing business administration for multi-location hair salons and barbershops in Ohio, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and New York. He's passionate about the industry and dedicated to helping salon owners and managers grow, expand, and franchise their business. Jules, you and I have a lot in common because I spent the first 20 years of my career in the hair and beauty industry as well. So welcome. We are so grateful to have you.
Thank you. I'm so thankful to be here. As mentioned before we got started, I've been tuning into your podcast, and I love all of the tangible, actionable information that you're giving your listeners. So I'm so thrilled to be able to dedicate some of my experience to that.
That is so wonderful. So tell me, how did you get started in the salon industry?
Starting in the salon industry, I had an interest in it ever since I was very young. Most notably, I loved that it's an industry that's so inclusive and so celebratory of all walks of life. And salons in general seem more of like a family environment, and ones that just promote positivity and seeing the beauty in everyone and everything. So that's really what appealed to me the most about the industry. But my start in the industry was when I was 18, graduated high school, and I had the opportunity to work in reception at an amazing salon and spa in downtown Dayton, Ohio. After working there for a year, I transferred to their Columbus location and attended the Aveda Institute for cosmetology. And after about a year's worth of experience upon graduating, that's when I moved to New York, LA, San Francisco, back to LA, back to New York. And the positions that I held in each business were either behind the chair, behind the desk, or behind the scenes in management. But the businesses that I was working at, they ranged from either being like locally owned single location business to being a multi-location, corporate owned, franchised salons and spas, barbershops, etc. I kind of wanted to get a little bit of everything from the industry.
I love that. So you really like spread your wings to like kind of check out like multifaceted parts of the salon industry.
Yeah, that's one of the beauties of this industry, I'd say, is there are so many different types of models. There is no right way to run a salon. There's one destination, but a million different roads to get there, and no same business, even if they're in the same vertical, such as, lashes or nails or hair, like everyone is going to be different.
So true. And I love what you just said about same destination, but it's clarifying that destination that that's where I work with people on, because sometimes there is not just one path to your version of success. And the more you know what success means to you.
Exactly.
I think that's also the other thing that makes beauty as an industry, I don't know, just even more beautiful, I guess.
Agreed.
So then after having all those different experiences in different types of salons, how did you end up at Boulevard?
So my last few years in the industry, I was focusing more on admin. And as I was getting older, my body was disagreeing with being behind the chair for so long. It's hard industry. It's very manually or physically taxing. And anyways, so being more in the admin, being behind the scenes, seeing the numbers, being able to coach staff and encourage different client behaviors in your business, that became fascinating to me over time. When I was connected with Boulevard, it was with a past colleague of mine that I co-managed with in West Hollywood. She started with Boulevard a couple years before I did, but she brought me on to the Boulevard team as a customer success manager, given that experience, because in this role, I am working with business owners and sometimes their managers too, but I'm helping them take this platform that they are using, being Boulevard, and really showing them how to get the most value out of it. Like, what are their current business operations like, and how does Boulevard fit into that? What can we use in the platform to help amplify like their own goals? Are there any initiatives that maybe they're not taking that Boulevard can help start for you? And really helping them like dissect their business through the platform and encourage that growth.
So one of the questions I like to ask of business owners of all kinds is it possible that technology can help you achieve your goals? Like, is it possible?
Of course, but it's not going to help you without putting in your own legwork behind it. There's a difference between having all of this access to your data, but if you don't know what it means, or you don't know how to use it, or you don't know how to interpret that into actionable steps to attain your goals, that technology is not going to do anything for you.
So if you are talking with say it's a salon owner, a lash artist, maybe even somebody that does massage and has like a boutique, these are like different pillars within our industry. And they're new to utilizing software. What do you guys do to help set them up for success?
Well, Boulevard, being a health and beauty and wellness company devoted to the industry through technology, we are encompassing an all-inclusive platform that includes like an integrated point of sale system, an integrated marketing suite, customizable reporting, inventory management, and we have access for our enterprise customers. We have API and webhook access. So if there are other apps and integrations that they're using external from our platform, if they want to have access to their data from their own dashboard, then they can extract that information that way.
I love that you broke down what that means, because it's been my experience that many people in the creative space don't always, know that lingo of API and webhook. So thank you for breaking it down. It's when our multiple platforms get to talk to each other. They get to speak the same language instead of serving as separate entities. So I love that you explained that for everyone. Thank you.
Yeah.
And one as a salon owner for years that struggled to find the technology that kind of checked all the boxes, that was something I used to beg for before it was a thing, like having them talk to each other. So I'm so grateful that you guys have been on the forefront of making that happen, because that's the thing, is like we have all this data, but we're not putting it into use. It's like, okay, how do we maximize that we have this valuable information that can really help us run our business? Like, how do we really tap into using it so that we have success as a customer of the product?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's also where us having customer success managers like for these enterprise customers who, or these enterprise businesses that have these, large goals. Like that's where like my role comes in, and it's almost a personal guide to the platform and learning everything about your business there is to know. And while being ourselves being platform experts, it's us marrying that information together and holding their hand and guiding them through this.
Yeah. Do you think that the setup of technology is like smoother when you have someone like yourself, like holding their hand? Because sometimes it's the setup that my clients are like, oh, like they get a little bit, I have to hold their hand and talk them off the ledge a lot when they're implementing new technologies.
Yes, and there's still a lot of that I see as well, because I'd say it could be half and half. The points of contact that I have between like either being a past service provider or not. And for the ones that were service providers or maybe who still are, that is, kind of like a type B brain or like the creative. And they don't always partner up with a co-founder who might be a little bit more business savvy, the type A who might think a little bit more logically. I think maybe you even brought it up recently in one of your episodes about being the visionary and the
integrator.
Yes, exactly. So that compatibility, that having that other half of you to help with this business, I think is crucial. So if you don't have that, then that's where, yeah, my role can come in and kind of be that guiding light in a way.
That is so beautiful, because I think often, depending on what your goals are for growing your business, as a person that's very creative, and I'm always starting businesses, but I always have to find integrators that have that same passion, but have a different side of the brain, right? So that I'm not being taxed to do both.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's one of the things that I love about our team at Boulevard in general, because we have so many individuals in our customer experience department and our education team that have industry experience, whether they were a stylist behind the chair, they were managing, maybe they owned their own business, been on like the payroll side of things. We have so many individuals that have so much unique experience in the industry. So I think that gives us a little bit of a leverage because we can speak the same language to these business owners, that having that place of relatability.
That is really beautiful. Where do you see, with all the new technologies coming out, like where do you see that sort of marriage of technology and that, we're in a personal care industry, right? When we're talking about doing creative services. So where do you see those merging as we continue on this journey of like really tapping into technology?
Well, I'd say presently, I think a lot of business owners are already on the train of digitalizing their business. The most common example I would say would be online booking, but where technology is advancing, which is something that Boulevard has, is our precision scheduling technology. So we're looking for existing events on the calendar, whether that be an appointment or maybe that's a time block on the staff schedule, but we're looking for these existing events on the calendar that we can book other clients right up against. That way we're eliminating gaps in the schedule, we're maximizing their revenue, their client volume, getting more clients in the door. So I think that's an example of where we are currently with technology and where we're going. So it's not just about digitizing, but it's about optimizing.
Did you call this precision scheduling? Is that what it was?
Yes.
Okay. Can I just tell you that is genius, because so often a lot of, especially salon professionals that I talk to, are afraid to venture into the online booking space because they're, so used to like tweaking things and just, making their schedule optimized through trial and error. And my sort of comeback is always, people want to book at midnight and you are not open. You need to be available at midnight because people want to make it easy. Like, I don't know about you, but like the doctors are the slowest to embrace technology. I'm like, I'm at work too early. I at work later than they do, or, I don't have time. So like, same thing, like even with doctors, we're like, get with it, get some online booking so that we can schedule at our convenience. So I love that you guys are adapting this precision model. And from what no one's doing that. So tell us more about that, please.
Sure. So I completely understand why a lot of businesses have some hesitation on putting the power of online booking in the hands of their clients, because sometimes the client doesn't know whether they get a single process or a double process.
Or 14 process.
Or 14 process. Or like, should they get like a partial highlight or a full highlight?
Well, right. Or they get highlights at like a background color, 3 shades of gloss, eyebrows, they get all these treatments.
Exactly. So even the last salon that I managed before joining Boulevard, they were actually a Boulevard customer. We were using the platform, but we didn't have online booking turned on when I first started. And that was where the hesitation was coming from. They're like, how are we going to make sure our clients are booking the right services? So at least with Boulevard's online booking, like, of course, you can put like a full description. I always recommend having like pictures on your website, etc. But I'd say probably the most helpful aspect of guiding clients to the right services is educating them like while you're in their chair or while they're in your chair. You don't have to get into the nitty-gritty and all of the terminology that might confuse them, but if you're sharing with them what you're doing that day, chances are like they'll remember it. Or if you have a client portal for your system, they'd be able to check their own history to see what they got last time and then be able to rebook accordingly.
So like Boulevard would give them access to their client portal so that they could rebook like at midnight if they wanted to.
Exactly. Yeah. So online booking is already, up, fully launched. Okay. We're currently this year building more enhancements to get more self-serve options in the hands of clients, because that's what clients want these days. That's what everybody wants. Anyone can like go on Google or go on whatever and immediately get the answer that they're looking for or accomplish a task by themselves. They don't want to call somewhere and be on hold. Maybe like they don't want to have to send an email. They don't want to have to send or leave a voicemail. So get these options in their hands and give them the power that they are wanting. And that also helps alleviate your front desk labor cost. If clients are helping themselves, then your front desk has more time to spend with the clients who are right in front of them to deliver that amazing experience that you want to provide.
I love that, because so often, the hesitation for embracing change is just because it's different, but we're in this industry of teaching people to be comfortable with change. So we kind of have to be the first people to step forward.
Exactly. And with Boulevard, we have what we call client accommodations, which is just the feature name for custom timing and custom pricing. So if you have a client like, oh my gosh, that took me 30 extra minutes to blow dry her because she has so much hair, save that in their profile. And the next time they go to book online, it'll take that time into consideration before they're presented with options. That way, they're booking for all of the time that you need with them, and it's not going to create a domino effect of running behind for the rest of your day.
Okay, so you can go in and adjust the timing and pricing and everything customized to that client so that the next time they can book the way that you would if you were doing it in person.
Exactly.
Okay, I love that. That had been what. So I sold my salon about I think it's been 2.5 years, and that was not available. Like we were able to, in all the softwares across the board, it was not available yet to be able to customize when it came to the online booking pricing. it was like still pretty standard. So you just always would have to talk to people when they came in and say, okay, well, this is actually what you got done, which doesn't feel great.
Right. Or if a client has already, at midnight booked that appointment online and they're like, whew, cross that off my to-do list. And then they get a call the next day saying like, sorry, you actually take longer for us. Like we need to move you to a time where we have more time available. Like that's never like a fun conversation to have. And so having that custom timing just takes the headache out of both sides of the equation.
Yeah, I love that. Now, what do you do in this situation when it's like it would be like a new guest, like a new client that was referred to a business? Are there questions that they answer to kind of know how long it will be? Or how do they pick what the timing and what the services are that they're going to get done?
I'd say a lot of businesses for their new clients, their landing page of their website where where a client could select book now. They also will have another button like for new clients to send an email consultation just to ensure that they're getting the right service. Or an add-on feature with Boulevard is two-way texting with clients. That way clients can text the salon, they can send in inspiration photos.
I was just going to ask. Because that's what we always did. We had two-way texting and we had email, just depends on what, whatever the client wanted to do. But we would ask them for inspirational pictures and we would ask them for photos of themselves currently in good lighting, front, back, side, so that we could really give a good estimate of cost and time. So we had been doing that for years and it was really nice to finally have software that worked with that.
Sure. Also,
is
another
that the most adorable bunny in your background? Oh my goodness.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so for those of you seeing this on video, you can't look now if you're driving, but Jules has the most adorable little bunny in the background. So cute. What's your bunny's name?
Bunny Boy Jr.
Oh, I love it.
I was the original bunny boy growing up. I was awkwardly obsessed with rabbits. So when I adopted him, I just felt like it was natural. He was Bunny Boy Jr.
Bunny Boy Jr. I love it. Oh my God. So cute.
But another solution for new clients that I've seen businesses incorporate into online booking is having an add-on option, which would actually add an extra 15 minutes of timing for this particular service if the client is new. It's a box that they can check indicating that they're new.
Just to make sure. Yeah. Because it's always going to take longer consultation wise.
Exactly. And you're kind of recreating the work of art on their head rather than kind of retracing your steps from last time if this is a new client. So yeah, it always takes a little bit longer for new clients, or typically does, but that's another solution I've seen.
I love that. So what else do people need to know about the benefits of using Boulevard software?
Oh my God. Do we have enough time?
I don't know.
But yeah, having an integrated POS, if you've ever used an external card processor, you know how frustrating it is at the end of the night when you're closing up shop and everybody just wants to go home. Sometimes you're spending an extra hour trying to reconcile between the numbers you have in your platform versus what you have in your point of sale device. That was always a hindrance to me. So when I started using Boulevard at that last salon, that was one of the main benefits that I loved. And having all of that sales reporting really also helps with setting your salon or staff goals. Along with that, we have integrated marketing. We have 5 automated campaigns that take seconds to set up. And those will be blasted to clients each day, depending on the criteria that you set in those campaign settings. And those are specifically designed to encourage more client bookings. And you have full reporting for all of those campaigns in Boulevard's reporting. So you can see exactly which campaigns are driving how many bookings, what your projected sales are going to be based on those bookings versus the actual sales that came in from those specific bookings.
So when you're setting up like the parameters for like goals for each individual that works at your company, are you able to customize that or is it like standard reports?
It wouldn't be so much goals for an individual staff member, but one of or two of my favorites, they go off of the same logic. One is last minute opening, the other is fill slow days. But what it's doing, one is looking 2 days in advance and one is looking 7 days in advance. And based on the amount of availability that a staff member has based on their utilization percentage, it'll send out a blast of emails.
Oh, into the marketing. Okay, wonderful.
So you can set, if a staff member has 50% or more availability, send out emails for the staff member for that day.
Okay, wonderful. So like if there's a day that someone happens to had a bunch of cancellations or just, is not as busy as usual, you can fill it in. That's wonderful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we have built-in parameters around it too, so that we're not spamming your clients. We're not going to send to anyone who already has an upcoming appointment on the books. We're not going to send to anyone who has already been in within the last 30 days. And we're not going to send to anyone who hasn't been in the last year. That way, we're targeting the most likely clients who are going to take action to get those books filled.
Oh, I love that. So on the other side, though, when it comes to like your coaching reports for, when staff members are trying to grow to like the next level, is that able to be customized? Like, I understand what you're saying when it comes to the marketing piece, but from like the coaching analytics, are we able to customize that?
Yes. So in our reporting, we have one section called our beta reports, and those are fully customizable reports. So you can choose what you want your report data to be. That's probably going to be staff name, or you can group those rows by department or by location, or you can see these stats business-wide. But then you can choose all the metrics you want to add to it. If you want to see how, what their scheduled hours are versus their booked hours, that's where that utilization percentage is going to be derived from. But then you can also include those service sales, the product sales, gift card sales, et cetera. You can pick and choose what metrics you want to include in your report. And you have plenty of filtering options too, depending on if you want to see sales for particular services or service categories. So you do have a lot of customization there.
I love it. It sounds amazing. So what would you say if we were just like, hey, tell us what your biggest and best business secret is? What would that be, Jules?
Oh my gosh, best business secret. I feel like it would really depend on the business need. However, I would say my favorite aspect of any business is going to be the culture. And I think the culture really comes down to how your staff and your clientele are feeling. So I would suggest like using technology in the way of like surveys or forums and collecting feedback on what your staff and clients are experiencing, just to make sure that you are providing the right services to your clients. Like, would they like to see an expanded service menu, or are your staff getting bored with the services you're currently offering? Like, what can you do to pump that up? Or are all of your clients' expectations being met based on what they see on social media versus what they're getting when they actually come in real life?
Ooh, I love that, surveying both the staff and the clients. That is definitely a good way to connect the culture together. I love that. That's beautiful. So, when it comes to if somebody wanted to get started with is like whether they have previous software that they haven't been happy with, or they are new to integrating some of this new technology into their business, how can people get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me via LinkedIn, Jules Reese, or you can list my email address here in the show notes. That's jreese@blbd.co. I haven't started a social media page yet. I haven't taken off quite like you yet, Tracy. However, it's something that I've been thinking of.
Well, we are so grateful that you took the time to share so much about Boulevard and your expertise with us today, Jules. Thank you so much for being here. And we'll include all of the ways to get a hold of Jules and to check out Boulevard in the show notes. Thank you so much. And we, as always, hope that you are having the most beyond common type of business day. See you on the next one.